Welcome to ZenLight 8, where we uncover the secrets to a life well lived. Imagine fixing 93% of your problems with just 70 simple, powerful life lessons. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, stick around, because today we're diving into timeless wisdom that'll shift your mindset, strengthen your soul, and help you navigate life's chaos with unshakable calm. Hit that subscribe button, and let's unlock the Zen within you. Starting right now. 1. Honesty and self-awareness, the foundation of a life well lived. Let's start with something raw and real. Being honest may not get you a lot of friends, but it'll always get you the right ones. That's the first punch life throws at you when you decide to strip away the masks and live as the truest version of yourself. We're not talking about brutal honesty that cuts others down. Nah, that's just noise. This is about the quiet, unshakable honesty you owe yourself. The kind that stares you in the mirror and says, "This is who I am, flaws and all, and I'm done pretending otherwise." It's not easy. It's not glamorous. But it's the bedrock of a life that doesn't crumble under pressure. Think about it. How much energy do you waste trying to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be? You twist yourself into knots, chasing approval from people who, let's be real, aren't even paying attention. Here's the kicker. Don't worry about what other people are thinking about you because everyone is only thinking about themselves. That's not cynicism. It's liberation. The moment you realize the world isn't watching your every move, you're free. Free to stop performing, free to stop apologizing for existing, free to just be. I've been there, caught up in the mental trap of wondering what they'll say if I don't show up perfectly polished. Will they like me? Will they judge me? Will they stick around? Then one day it hit me. They're not dissecting my life. They're too busy dissecting their own. That coworker who barely nods at you? She's stressing about her deadline. That friend who didn't text back? He's lost in his own drama. People aren't your audience. They're the stars of their own messy shows. So why waste your time trying to steal a supporting role in theirs? The transcript nails it. Every second you spend comparing your life to someone else's is a second spent wasting yours. Scroll through social media, and it's a highlight reel of vacations, promotions, and perfect selfies. Meanwhile, you're sitting there in your sweatpants, feeling like you're losing at life. But here's the truth. Those posts aren't reality. They're curated moments, not the behind-the-scenes chaos everyone's actually living. Stop measuring your worth against someone else's filter. Your life isn't theirs, and it doesn't have to be. So what's the antidote? It starts with honesty, not just with others, but with yourself. Ask the hard questions. What do I want? What makes me feel alive? What am I pretending to be that I'm not? It's scary to dig that deep because the answers might shake up everything you've built. Maybe you'll realize you don't actually like the job you've been grinding at for years. Maybe you'll see that the people you've been clinging to don't really get you. That's okay. Honesty doesn't promise comfort. It promises clarity. And clarity is worth more than 1,000 fake smiles. Now, let's talk about the real game changer. Learning to be content and happy by yourself. If that sounds lonely, hear me out. It's not. There's a difference between being alone and being lonely. Loneliness is a void. Being alone is a strength. The transcript says it plain. If you need company to be happy, then it will make you weak. Dependency is a trap. Tie your happiness to someone else, and you're handing them the reins to your life. People change. Friends drift. Lovers leave, even family can let you down. If your joy hinges on them sticking around, you're building on quicksand. I used to think I needed a crowd to feel whole. Growing up, I'd bounce from group to group, terrified of silence, terrified of my own thoughts. I'd laugh too loud, agree too fast, anything to keep the vibe going. But the second I was alone, it was like the floor dropped out. Who was I without them? It took hitting rock bottom, sitting in an empty apartment after a fallout with my best friend, to figure it out. That night, I didn't have a choice. It was just me, a cheap lamp, and a whole lot of quiet. So I started talking to myself. Not out loud, that'd be weird, but in my head. What do I like? What do I want to do tomorrow? What's one thing I can do just for me? That was the turning point. I didn't need someone else to fill the space. I could fill it myself. I picked up a book I'd been meaning to read. I cooked a meal not for Instagram, but because I was hungry. I sat there, no noise, no distractions, and realized I didn't hate it. Over time, I stopped dreading my own company. I started craving it. Don't get me wrong, I love my people, but I don't need them to feel okay. That's power. The transcript doubles down on this. Don't be afraid to be alone. Being by yourself is far superior to being with crappy people. Preach. How many times have you stuck around in a friendship or relationship that drained you just because it was better than the alternative? I've done it. Kept toxic folks in my orbit because I didn't want to face the void. But here's what I learned. Crappy people don't just waste your time. They steal your peace. They drag you into their chaos, their complaints, their endless neediness. Cut them loose, and suddenly you've got room to breathe. Alone doesn't mean isolated. It means selective. Self-awareness ties this all together. You can't be honest with yourself or happy alone unless you know who you are. That's not some fluffy, philosophical fluff, it's practical. Take stock. What lights you up? What drags you down? What's the voice in your head saying when no one's around to drown it out? For me, it was music. I'd forgotten how much I loved blasting a playlist and just vibing. No audience required. For you, it might be painting, running, writing, whatever. The point is, you don't find that out by chasing someone else's script. You find it in the quiet. Here's a hard truth from the transcript. You owe nothing to your younger self, but you owe everything to your present self. That kid who wanted to be popular, to fit in, to please everyone, let them go. They don't get to call the shots anymore. The you of right now, the one reading this, the one who's still here fighting through life's mess, that's who deserves your loyalty. Stop dragging around old expectations like a ball and chain. Be honest about where you're at today and build from there. And yeah, it's messy. Self-awareness isn't a straight line. You'll stumble, doubt yourself, maybe even backslide into caring too much about what they think. That's fine. Growth isn't perfect. It's persistent. Keep showing up for yourself. The transcript says overthinking ruins you. It twists things around, makes you worry about futile questions, and turns small problems into monsters. So don't overanalyze this. Just start. Say no when you mean it. Walk away when it's time. Sit with yourself and see what happens. Let's wrap this with something real. Your life doesn't need an applause track. Honesty and self-awareness aren't about winning a crowd. They're about winning your own respect. The right people, the ones who matter, will stick around because they see the real you, not the version you polished up for them. And the ones who don't, they were never yours to begin with. Learn to be your own anchor. Happiness isn't out there in someone else's hands. It's in yours. Stop looking for it and start living it. You've got one shot at this life. Don't spend it pretending. Be honest. Be you. Be okay with just you. The rest will fall into place or it won't, and you'll still be fine. That's the beauty of it. 2. Emotional management, mastering the storm within. Life's a roller coaster, and your emotions? They're the wildest ride of all. 1 minute you're on top of the world. The next you're ready to burn it all down. Here's the first lesson in keeping your head straight. Don't make permanent decisions on temporary emotions. It's so easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment. Anger flaring, sadness swallowing you whole, even a burst of joy that feels like it'll last forever. But it won't. Emotions are like weather, they pass. And if you let them steer the ship, you'll crash into decisions you can't undo. I've been there. Picture this. A fight with someone I cared about, words flying like daggers, my chest tight with rage. In that moment, I wanted to cut them out of my life for good, block their number, slam the door, done. Felt so right, so final. But then the sun came up, the anger faded, and I saw it for what it was. A storm, not a verdict. If I'd acted on that impulse, I'd have torched a bridge I didn't really want to lose. The transcript hits it dead on. Those temporary feelings? They're liars. They trick you into thinking they're the whole story when they're just a chapter. Step back, breathe, let them roll through. What's left after the dust settles is what you build on. That's the trick to emotional management. You don't have to ride every wave. You don't have to be every feeling that hits you. Mad? Okay. Feel it, but don't sign your life away on it. Sad? Let it sit. but don't let it move in. The transcript says overthinking ruins you. It twists things around, makes you worry about futile questions, and blows everything out of proportion. Same deal with emotions. Overreacting to them is like handing them a megaphone. They're loud enough already, don't give them the keys to your future too. So how do you keep from drowning in the chaos? Start by knowing this: you're not your emotions. They're visitors, not residents. They knock on the door, sometimes barge in uninvited, but they don't own the house. You do. I learned that the hard way after a breakup that left me gutted. For weeks, I was a mess, crying over songs, replaying every fight, convinced I'd never feel whole again. Then one day, I caught myself laughing at a dumb meme. It wasn't much, but it was proof. The sadness wasn't me. It was just passing through. That's when I started to get it. Emotions don't define you unless you let them. Now, let's flip the script to something deeper: happiness. We spend so much time chasing it: new job, new relationship, new car. Like it's some treasure buried out there in the world. But the transcript drops a truth bomb. Don't look for happiness. It's always inside you. That's not some cheesy self-help line. It's a wake-up call. Every time you pin your joy on something external, you're setting yourself up to lose it. That promotion, temporary high, that perfect date, they could ghost you tomorrow. Happiness tied to the outside is a house of cards. One gust, and it's gone. I used to think happiness was a finish line. Get the degree, land the gig, find the one, and boom, happy forever. Spoiler, it doesn't work that way. I got the job, and 6 months in, I was bored. I found someone great, and then we fought, and I wondered if I'd picked wrong. The transcript calls it out. Chasing happiness will lead you to misery until you realize happiness is the way. It's not a prize you win, it's a lens you choose. I started small: coffee in the morning, a walk at dusk, a song that hit just right. Little stuff, but it was mine, and no one could take it. Here's the real kicker. You've already got everything you need to be happy. Sounds wild, right? But think about it. Those moments when you're laughing so hard you can't breathe, or when you're lost in a book, or when you just sit there, content for no reason. Where's that coming from? Not the bank account, not the likes on your post. It's you. The transcript says all you have is the now and what you do with it. Happiness isn't waiting for the stars to align. It's in how you handle this messy, ordinary moment. I'll level with you, it's not always easy to see that. Life throws curveballs that make you question everything. A few years back, I hit a rough patch. Lost a job, lost a friend, lost my footing. I kept asking, why can't I just be happy? Like it was someone else's fault. Then I stumbled on this idea. What if happiness isn't about what's happening to me, but what's happening in me? I stopped waiting for the world to fix itself and started fixing my perspective. Gratitude helped. Sounds basic, but it works. The more grateful you are, the more beauty you see, the transcript says. A roof over my head, a meal on the table, a random sunny day. Suddenly, I had more than enough. Emotional management ties into that. You can't control the storm, but you can control how you sail through it. The transcript's got this gem. The only thing you can control is how you feel, do, and think. Feelings hit hard, rejection stings, failure burns, but you get to decide what they mean. That job loss? Not a death sentence, just a detour. That fight? Not the end, just a bump. It's not about ignoring the pain. It's about not letting it write your story. Let's talk practical. Next time you're raging or spiraling, try this: pause. Ask yourself, will I care about this in 10 years? The transcript throws that out there, and it's gold. Most of the stuff we lose sleep over, spilled coffee, a snarky comment, a missed chance, fades into nothing over time. If it won't matter a decade from now, why let it own you today? I started doing that when my temper flared. Car cuts me off, 10 years gone. Boss snaps at me, 10 years irrelevant. It's not suppression, it's perspective. And when the lows hit, because they will, don't run from them. The transcript says facing your emotions gives you more strength and happiness in the long run than shutting them down. I used to numb out, scrolling, binge-watching, anything to dodge the ache. But that just delayed the inevitable. Now I let it in. Sad? I sit with it. Mad? I name it. It's not fun, but it's freeing. Emotions don't fester when you let them breathe. They move on. Happiness within takes work, though. You've got to train yourself to spot it. The transcript says you grow rich when you seek new experiences, not material things. I started chasing small wins, a hike with a killer view, a conversation that made me think, a quiet night with my thoughts. None of it cost much, but it filled me up. You don't need $1 million or a perfect life, just a willingness to find the good in what's already here. Here's the bottom line. Your emotions don't own you, and happiness isn't out there to be caught. Don't let a bad day or a good one dictate your next move. The transcript's right. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. You'll feel the highs and lows, but you don't have to build your world around them. Happiness? It's not a destination. It's the road you're on. Stop searching, start seeing. You've got the wheel, drive it. 3. Relationships. Build connections that last, cut ties that don't. Relationships are the heartbeat of life. Messy, beautiful, brutal, all of it. But here's the first rule you've got to tattoo on your soul. Never make someone a priority who only makes you an option. It's so simple, yet we trip over it every day. You know the type, the friend who only calls when they need something, the partner who's hot 1 minute and ghosting the next. You keep pouring your time, your energy, your heart into them, thinking they'll see your worth. Spoiler, they won't. Not because you're not enough, but because they're too busy chasing their own spotlight to notice yours. I've been that fool. Years back, I had a friend. Let's call her Jen. I drop everything for her. Late night talks, last-minute favors, you name it. But when I needed her, crickets. She'd show up when it suited her, toss me a crumb of attention, and I'd lap it up like it was gold. Then one day, I got tired of being the backup plan. The transcript nails it. If you're a friend of everybody, you're an enemy to yourself. I was so busy keeping Jen happy that I forgot to ask, what about me? So I stopped calling. She didn't chase me down. Proof I was just an option. Walking away hurt, but it taught me my value isn't negotiable. That's the thing about relationships. They're a mirror. They show you what you're willing to accept. If you're always the one bending, breaking, begging for a scrap of respect, that's not love, that's a leash. The transcript says people will show you far more than they'll tell you. Watch their actions, not their words. Someone who cancels plans last minute, but swears you're so important, they're lying with their feet. Someone who only texts back when they're bored, you're their downtime, not their priority. Stop making excuses for them. You deserve a seat at the table, not the crumbs off it. Now, let's talk about letting go, because that's where the rubber meets the road. The transcript says it's hard, but it's the best thing to do with time. And man, is it hard. Cutting ties feels like ripping out a piece of yourself, especially when you've invested years, tears, dreams into someone. I stayed in a relationship way past its expiration date. 2 years with a guy who checked out long before I did. I clung to the what ifs. What if he changes? What if I'm wrong? What if I end up alone? But here's the truth. Holding on to what's dead doesn't keep it alive. It just weighs you down. Letting go isn't weakness, it's strength. It's saying, I love myself enough to stop settling. The transcript backs this up. Sometimes you just have to walk away, let people go, and let relationships end. I finally told that guy we were done. He didn't fight for me. Another sign I'd been hanging on to smoke. Afterward, I felt empty, sure, but then the space started filling up with me. My plans, my peace, my life. You don't realize how much a bad relationship steals until you're free of it. The transcript's got it right. What's coming is better than what's gone. Trust that. Not every connection is meant to last forever, and that's okay. People change. Even your best friends can turn into strangers one day, like the transcript warns. I had a crew in college, tight, ride or die, the kind you'd bet your life on. Fast forward 5 years, and we're barely on speaking terms. Jobs, moves, new priorities, they drifted, I drifted. I used to mourn it like I'd failed them. But then I got it. Not every bond is built for every season. Forcing it just breeds resentment. Let them go with grace. Your true friends, the ones who stick, show up when you're at your lowest. The transcript calls them out, and it's true. So who do you keep? Who do you build with? That brings us to the big one. Choosing a partner. The transcript drops a bomb here. First, you choose a partner on the basis of their looks and enjoy until you realize that your kids will not be raised by their looks but by their values. It's so real it hurts. We've all been dazzled by a pretty face, a killer smile, the kind of chemistry that makes your brain short-circuit. I fell for it once. A guy who looked like he walked out of a movie poster. Sparks flew, and I thought, this is it. Until the shine wore off, and I saw the cracks. No depth, no accountability, no vision beyond the weekend. Looks fade. They just do. That hot connection is fun until you're arguing over bills or raising a kid who's screaming at 3 a.m. What holds you together then isn't a chiseled jaw, it's values. Do they show up when it counts? Do they own their mistakes? Do they care about something bigger than themselves? I learned this the hard way. After that fling crashed, I met someone quieter, less flashy. He wasn't the loudest guy in the room, but he was steady, kind, honest. We talked about life, not just lust. That's when I knew. This is what lasts. Values aren't sexy on paper, but they're the glue. The transcript says everything you do creates dots you connect later. Same with relationships. Pick someone whose dots align with yours. Someone who'll raise your kids with integrity, not just good genes. I've seen it play out with friends who chased the surface. One buddy married a stunner. Gorgeous, charming, the whole package. But she bailed when things got tough, leaving him with a toddler and a lesson. Beauty doesn't pay the rent. Compare that to my cousin, who picked a partner with grit and heart. They're not perfect, but they're solid because they're rooted in what matters. Here's the practical side. Audit your relationships. Who's in your circle? Who's lifting you up? And who's dragging you down? The transcript says to know your true friends. Look for the ones who say good things behind your back and bad things to your face. That's gold. People who'll call you out but still root for you. I've got a friend like that. Tells me when I'm being an idiot, but I'd trust her with my life. Keep those folks close. The rest? If they're half in, if they're flaky, if they only shine when the spotlight's on, let them drift. And don't be afraid to be picky. The transcript's clear. You were born with 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that proportion. Listen more than you plead. Watch more than you chase. People reveal themselves if you give them space to. I stopped begging for attention after Jen. Started noticing who showed up without me asking. Turns out, the ones worth keeping don't need a leash. They stay because they want to. Relationships aren't about quantity, they're about quality. Don't hoard connections like trophies. Curate them like art. The transcript says sometimes you have to lose all you have to find out who you truly are. I lost Jen, lost that ex, lost the college crew, and found myself. Found better people too. You don't need a crowd, just a few who see you really see you. And when it's time to build a life with someone, bet on their soul, not their shell. That's the stuff that endures. 4. Self-care. The art of owning your life. Let's get real for a second. You only get one body. Take care of it. That's not a throwaway line. It's a wake-up call. This skin and bones machine you're walking around in, it's your ride for life. You don't get a spare, no trade-ins, no do-overs. Feed it junk, run it ragged, ignore the warning lights, and it'll break down faster than you think. But treat it right. Fuel it, move it, rest it, and it'll carry you further than you ever imagined. The transcript says it plain. You'll have it all your life, and while it's incredibly resilient, it can only give you what you put in. That hit me hard after years of treating mine like a rental car. Fast food, no sleep, all gas, no breaks. Then one day, I couldn't climb a flight of stairs without wheezing. Point taken. Self-care starts there, with the basics. It's not about fancy spa days or Instagram-worthy yoga poses. It's about showing up for the one vessel you've got. I used to think I was invincible. Late nights, coffee for breakfast, skipping the gym because I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow turned into years and my body kept score. Aches, exhaustion, a gut I didn't recognize in the mirror. Then I flipped the script, started small, a walk instead of a scroll, water instead of soda. Nothing drastic, just consistent. The transcript says action breeds more clarity than thought, and it's true. I didn't think my way into feeling better. I moved my way there. Your body's not asking for perfection. It's asking for effort. But self-care's bigger than just the physical. It's about taking responsibility for yourself. Full stop. The transcript lays it out. Take your responsibilities seriously, but not yourself. That's a tightrope worth walking. Life's on you. No one's coming to save you, pay your bills, or fix your messes. I learned that the hard way when I was 25, broke and blaming everyone else. My boss for the low pay, my parents for not bailing me out, the world for being unfair. Then it clicked. Nobody owes me a damn thing. I owed myself. So I got a second job, cut the excuses, started owning my days. It wasn't fun, but it was freeing. Responsibility isn't a burden, it's power. Here's where it gets tricky. You can't take it too seriously. The transcript's got that balance right. Shoulder the load, but don't let it crush you. I used to beat myself up over every slip. Missed a deadline, ate a burger instead of a salad, forgot to call someone back. I'd spiral thinking I was a failure. But that's just ego in disguise, making everything about me being perfect. Laugh at yourself instead. Spill coffee on your shirt? Shrug it off. Bomb a presentation? Learn and move on. Responsibility's about showing up, not showing off. The world doesn't end when you stumble. It ends when you stop getting back up. Now, the deepest cut. Self-care is realizing that you are your greatest obstacle. The transcript doesn't pull punches here, and neither should you. It's not your ex, your job, or the economy holding you back. It's you. Your doubts, your procrastination, your fear of failing. I spent years pointing fingers. Why can't I get ahead? Why is everyone else winning? Then I looked inward and saw the real enemy. Me. I'd talk myself out of every risk, sabotage every goal with later. Let my head run circles around what-ifs. The transcript calls it. Overthinking ruins you, twists things around, makes everything worse than it is. That was my trap. Facing that truth? Brutal, but liberating. If I'm the problem, I'm also the solution. No one else can fix me. I've got to do it. I started catching myself mid-excuse. Want to skip the gym? Nope, you're going. Too scared to apply for that job? Send the damn resume. The transcript says you can't think your way into a new life. You have to act your way into one. So I acted. Small steps, messy steps, but steps. Every time I pushed past my own bullshit, I got stronger. You're not fighting the world, you're fighting the version of you that wants to stay small. Let's break it down. Taking care of your body? That's discipline. I used to crash on the couch after work, screen in hand, zoning out. Now I stretch, cook something real, maybe hit a trail. It's not glamorous. Sweat's not cute, but it's mine. Responsibility, that's ownership. I pay my rent, I own my choices, I don't wait for a handout. And seeing myself as the obstacle, that's awareness. The transcript says you owe nothing to your younger self, but everything to your present self. That kid who wanted to coast? Let him go. The me of now deserves a fighter. It's not all grit and grind, though. Self-care's also soft, rest, joy, saying no. The transcript says don't do anything you'll have to lie about later. I used to overcommit, yes to every favor, every late shift, every guilt trip. I'd lie to myself, I can handle it. Couldn't. Burned out, resentful, a shell. Now I guard my peace. No to the party I don't want, no to the friend who drains me. Yes to a quiet night, a good book, a slow morning. You don't have to be everything to everyone, you just have to be enough for you. Here's a truth bomb, you're stronger than you think. The transcript says you've gotten through every bad day in your life, you're undefeated. That's your body, your will, your spirit talking. I hit a wall last year, job stress, family drama, the works. Thought I'd break. Didn't. Kept eating, kept moving, kept showing up. Resilience isn't loud. It's quiet, steady, yours. But it only kicks in if you feed it. Skip the self-care and you're running on fumes. Practical moves? Start where you stand. Body, walk 20 minutes today, no excuses. Responsibility. Pick one thing you've been dodging, a bill, a call, a task, and do it. Obstacle. Write down one way you're holding yourself back. Fear, laziness, whatever, and face it. The transcript says the only thing you can control is how you feel, do, and think. So control it. One choice at a time. Self-care's not selfish, it's survival. The transcript says you have to love yourself before you can love others. I used to think putting myself first was wrong. Guilt ate me alive. But you can't pour from an empty cup. Fill yours, rest, eat, grow, and you've got more to give. I started running last year, not fast, not far, just enough. Felt good, so I kept going. Now I'm that guy who says, you should try it. Not because I'm special, because I know it works. You'll screw up. I do. Late night pizza happens. Deadlines slip. Old doubts creep in. The transcript says letting go isn't a one-time thing. It's daily. Same with self-care. You don't master it. You practice it. Fall off? Get back on. Your body forgives. Your responsibility waits. Your obstacles shrink. Every day's a reset. Here's the bottom line, you're the project. Not your boss, not your partner, not the world. You care for your body, it's your home. Own your life, it's your story. Face yourself, you're the gatekeeper. The transcript says your life is the result of the choices you make. So choose you. Not tomorrow, not when it's easy, now. You've got one shot at this. Make it count. 5. Facing fear and change. Embrace the chaos, conquer the doubt. Fear's a funny thing. It sneaks up on you, tightens your chest, makes your palms sweat. All because you're standing at the edge of something big. But here's the twist. Fear is not there to stop you. It's there to show you that you're interested and you care. That's straight from the transcript, and it's a game changer. We've been taught to see fear as the enemy, the red light, the wall. Nah, it's a signal. It's your heart saying, this matters. I used to think being scared meant I was weak. Turns out it meant I was alive. Take the first time I spoke in front of a crowd. Legs shaking, voice cracking. A room full of eyes staring me down. I wanted to bolt. Why? Because I cared about the words, about being heard, about not screwing up. That fear wasn't telling me to quit. It was telling me to push. So I did. Stumbled through it, survived, and walked off buzzing. The transcript's right. The more wins with fear you can accumulate, the more fearless you'll become. Every time you face it, it loses a little juice. That speech, first of many. Now I crave the mic, not because I'm fearless, but because I've beaten fear enough to know it's a liar. Fear's not the monster under the bed. It's the spotlight on what you want. I was terrified to quit a dead-end job once. Stable paycheck, boring as hell, soul-crushing daily. The fear? What if I fail? What if I can't pay rent? But under that was something else. I cared about my life, my time, my shot at something better. So I jumped, took a gig that paid less but lit me up. Scary? Hell yes. Worth it? Every second. The transcript says you cannot swim for new horizons until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Fear's the shore. Let it go and you'll find your sea. But here's the catch, facing fear isn't a one and done. It's a habit. The transcript says once you face your fear, nothing is ever as hard as you think. I used to dread confrontation. Telling a friend they'd crossed a line, asking for a raise, standing up for myself. My head would spin it into a disaster movie. They'll hate me, I'll get fired, it'll all fall apart. Then I started doing it, small stuff first, like saying no to a guilt trip. World didn't end. Confidence grew. Fear's a bully, it shrinks when you swing back. Next time it creeps in, stare it down. Ask, what's this really about? 9 times out of 10, it's just noise. Now, let's talk change, because fear and change are twins. The transcript drops the big one. The biggest thing you need to accept is change. Life doesn't sit still. Jobs shift, people leave, plans blow up. You can fight it, cling to the old days, but that's like holding water in your hands. It slips through anyway. I learned that when my best friend moved across the country. We'd been tight since high school, movie nights, dumb inside jokes, the works. Then he was gone. I sulked, replayed the past, hated the silence. Took me months to see it. Change wasn't the enemy, it was the flow. Accepting change isn't giving up, it's growing up. The transcript says you don't only live once, you live multiple lives within one. That's deep. Who I was at 20, dead and gone. That version chased parties, dodged risks, lived for the weekend. Now, I'm chasing purpose, facing fears, building something real. Change killed the old me and I'm better for it. You'll shed skins too. Friendships fade, dreams shift, you evolve. Don't mourn it. Celebrate it. What's coming is better than what's gone. The transcript promises. Believe that. Fear and change dance together. Every shift, new job, breakup, moving cities, brings that familiar knot. I felt it when I left my hometown. Comfort zone? Shattered. Roots? Uprooted. Fear screamed, "You'll crash and burn." But I packed anyway, drove off, started over. Scary as hell, sure, but alive. The transcript says change is not a threat. It's an invitation to live. That move? Best invitation I ever RSVP'd to. New streets, new faces, new me. Fear tagged along, but it didn't drive. Here's the practical side. Lean into both. Fear hitting you? Good. Name it, starting a business, asking someone out, whatever. Then act. One step, send the email, make the call. The transcript says take the first step in faith, you don't have to see the whole staircase. I didn't see the end game when I moved, just the next exit. That's enough. Change rolling in? Don't brace, bend. Friend drifts away? Wish them well, make a new one. Job ends? Hunt the next. The transcript says we either make ourselves miserable or strong. The work's the same. Choose strong. It's not always pretty. I flailed. Froze before a big pitch. Raged when a plan tanked. The transcript says you never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. That's real. Lost a gig once. Rent due, no cushion. Fear was loud, change was louder. Had to hustle, pivot, figure it out. Did. You will too. Strength's not born. It's forged. Every fear faced. Every change ridden. Adds steel to your spine. Don't get it twisted. Accepting change doesn't mean you're cool with everything. Bad stuff happens, loss, betrayal, curveballs. The transcript says pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. I grieved when my grandpa passed. Feared the hole he left. Change took him and it sucked. But suffering, that's when I'd replay it endlessly. Let it define me. Instead, I felt it, honored it, moved through it. Change is the river, you don't stop it, you swim it. Fear's a compass, not a cage. The transcript says fear limits most people through their lives. It permeates all their decisions. Don't let it. I almost did, almost stayed in that safe, soul-sucking job forever. Fear said, stay put, it's fine. But fine's not living. So I quit, risked it, won. You've got your own almosts. That dream you're dodging. That leap you're delaying. Fear's pointing at it, listen. The transcript says it's never too late to do the things you've always wanted. Start now. Fear's just the starting line. Change keeps it rolling. Life won't go as planned, the transcript warns, and trust me, it's a good thing. I planned a cushy career, stable path. Got derailed, layoffs, detours, chaos. Best derailment ever. Forced me to rethink, rebuild, find what I actually wanted. Your plans will crack too. Let them. The transcript says sometimes we only find our true direction when we let the wind of change carry us. Stop fighting the wind. Sail it. Here's your move. Face one fear today. Small, big, doesn't matter. Say the thing, take the shot. Feel the rush, then do it again tomorrow. Change coming? Meet it. Jobs shifting? Learn the new game. Someone's leaving? Let them find your footing. The transcript says courage is the most important virtue. Without it, you can't practice any other consistently. Fear and change test it. Pass the test. You're built for this. The transcript says you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem. Every fear you've beaten, every change you've survived, proof. I'm not fearless. Still sweat before a risk, still wince when life shifts. But I'm not running either. Neither should you. Fear's a signpost, change is the road. Follow them. They'll take you somewhere worth going. 6. Action and persistence. The engine of a life that moves. Here's a truth that'll shake you loose. Action breeds more clarity than thought. We've all been stuck in that hamster wheel, overanalyzing, planning, waiting for the perfect moment to start. I used to do it all the time. Wanted to write a book. Spent months dreaming up the plot, researching, telling myself I'd start when I had it all figured out. Guess what? never wrote a word. The transcript calls it out. You can't think your way into a new life, you have to act your way into one. So I ditched the excuses, sat down, typed a messy first page. It sucked, but it was real. And that's when I saw it. Action doesn't wait for clarity, it creates it. I didn't know where that book was going until I started hitting keys. Each sentence showed me the next. The transcript says overthinking ruins you, it twists things, makes you worry about futile questions. That was me. Trapped in what if it's bad? Action cut through the noise. One page became 10, then 50. Clarity didn't come from plotting in my head. It came from moving my hands. You've got your own thing. A business, a workout, a conversation you're dodging. Stop circling it. Start it. The path shows up when you step. That's where commitment kicks in. It's what gets you started. The transcript lays it out. Commitment is the spark. Without it, you're just a dreamer with a wish list. I committed to that book. Not because I was ready, but because I was tired of waiting. Signed up for a writing challenge, told a friend I'd finish a draft, put my ass in the chair. No grand epiphany, just a promise to myself. Commitment's not sexy. It's a decision. I've seen it with friends too. One swore he'd run a marathon, laced up his shoes, started with a mile. Didn't know how he'd do 26. Just knew he'd try. That's the line, you don't need all the answers, you need a yes. But starting's only half the battle, consistency takes you far. The transcript's crystal on this. Consistency is what gets you somewhere. Commitment lights the fire. Consistency keeps it burning. I didn't write that book in a weekend. Took months, 500 words a day, some good, some trash. Didn't matter. Showed up anyway. Same with that marathon buddy. He ran 3 times a week, rain or shine, slow as hell at first. Didn't quit. Consistency's not about speed, it's about rhythm. You don't have to be great every day, you just have to be there. I learned that lesson hard when I tried getting fit. First week, all in, gym daily, protein shakes, the works. Week 2, couch city. Burned out because I chased perfection instead of pace. Restarted slower, 3 workouts a week, no heroics. Stuck with it. 6 months later, I'm stronger than I've ever been. Not because I crushed it, but because I didn't stop. The transcript says the first step towards getting somewhere is to decide you're not going to stay where you are. Consistency's that decision lived out daily. Pick your thing, writing, running, learning, do it again tomorrow. Then the next day, watch it grow. And when the grind gets ugly, that's where persistence steps up. It keeps you going. The transcript ties it together. Commitment starts, consistency moves, persistence endures. Life's not a straight shot. Shit hits the fan. Doubts creep in, obstacles stack up, you want to quit. I hit that wall with the book. Halfway through, hated every word. Felt like a fraud. Wanted to trash it. Persistence said no. Kept writing even when it hurt. Finished the draft. Not perfect, but done. The transcript says you never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. That's persistence. Gutting it out when the shine's gone. I've seen it play out bigger. A friend launched a small business, coffee cart, nothing fancy. First year, brutal, slow sales, long hours, doubters everywhere. She could have folded. Didn't. Tweaked the menu. Showed up early. Smiled through the flops. Year 2, she's got lines out the door. Persistence isn't loud. It's stubborn. The transcript says out of difficulties grow miracles. She's living proof. You don't win by avoiding the hard, you win by pushing through it. Here's the real talk. Action, commitment, consistency, persistence. They're a chain. Break one link and you stall. I stalled plenty, overthought a career switch till it passed me by, committed to a diet then bailed, started projects I never finished. The transcript says your life is the result of the choices you make. I chose inertia too long, then flipped it. Acted on a job hunch, stuck with it, fought the setbacks. Landed where I wanted, not luck, just motion. You've got your own chain, link it up. Practical moves, action. Do one thing today, 5 push-ups, 1 email, 10 minutes on that goal. Commit. Tell someone you're in, set a date, make it real. Consistency. Schedule it, same time, same place, 3 days this week. Persistence, when you slip and you will get back tomorrow. The transcript says the only thing you can control is how you feel, do, and think. So do. One move sparks the next. It's not always pretty. I've scrapped pages, skipped runs, cursed the grind. The transcript says hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. That book's not published yet, but it's taught me more than any daydream. Marathon guy, crossed the finish line, limping but grinning. Coffee cart queen, thriving. Actions messy, persistence is ugly, but they deliver. The transcript says success is not about your resources. It's about how resourceful you are with what you have. You've got enough, use it. Don't wait for motivation. It's a myth. I thought I'd write when I felt it. Never did. Started anyway, and the feeling followed. The transcript says take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. I didn't see a book, just a page. Didn't see a fit me, just a walk. Action drags motivation along, not the other way around. Commit to the messy start, stay for the slow build, persist through the muck. Clarity comes after, not before. You'll doubt yourself, I do. Mid-book, I thought, who am I kidding? Mid-run, why bother? The transcript says believe you can and you're halfway there. Doubt's noise, action's the signal. Keep going and the voice quiets. I've got a draft now, a stronger body, a sharper mind. Not because I'm special, but because I didn't stop. You won't either. The transcript says the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Act on yours, stick with it, fight for it, they're worth it. Here's the bottom line. Nothing moves till you do. The transcript says every next level of your life will demand a different you. Action births that you, commitment roots it, consistency grows it, persistence proves it. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm not where I was. That's the win. You've got your shot. Don't think it to death. Start it, build it, finish it. Life's waiting. 7. Positive thinking. Rewire your mind. Rewrite your life. Let's cut to the chase. You can't control everything, and that's okay. The transcript lays it out raw. All you have power and influence over is what you decide to do with the time that you are given today. Life's a wild mess. People flake, plans flop, the world spins on without asking your permission. I used to lose my mind over it. Why'd they cancel? Why's traffic jammed? Why's it raining on my one day off? Wasted hours raging at stuff I couldn't touch. Then it hit me. The only thing I can steer is me. My moves, my mood, my next step. That's where the power lives. I started small. Stuck in traffic? Crank the music. Breathe. Let it go. Friend bails? Plan a solo night, enjoy my own company. The transcript says the only thing you can control is how you feel, do, and think. Stop trying to change other people because it almost never works. Truth. I can't make the car ahead move or force someone to show up, but I can decide not to let it ruin me. Focus shifts, stress drops. You've got your own chaos, boss snapping, rent spiking, whatever. Ask, what can I do about it right now? If the answer's nothing, move on. If it's something, do it. That's your lane, stay in it. Now, let's talk gratitude because this one's a game changer. The transcript says the more grateful you are, the more beauty you will see all around you, the more generous life will seem, and the happier you'll become. Sounds soft, right? It's not, it's steel. I used to wake up griping. Alarm's too early, coffee's weak, another grind ahead. Then I flipped it. Alarm means I've got a day to live. Coffee beats nothing. Grind pays the bills. Suddenly, my mornings weren't a curse. They were a gift. Gratitude's not ignoring the bad. It's spotlighting the good. I tested it during a rough patch. Job sucked. Bank account laughed at me. Felt like the universe had a personal grudge. Started writing down 3 things I was thankful for every night. First day, lame stuff. Bed to sleep in, food in the fridge, a friend's dumb text that made me smirk. Kept going. Week later, I'm noticing the sunset, the way my dog naps like he owns the place, a stranger's nod on the street. The transcript's dead on. Gratitude cracks the world open. Problems didn't vanish, but they stopped owning me. You've got your list. Start it. Roof, breath, a laugh. It adds up. It's not blind positivity. Life's not always fair, the transcript admits. People lie, cheat, win when they shouldn't. I've been burned. Passed over for a gig I earned. Ghosted by someone I trusted. Could have stewed in it, and I did for a bit. But gratitude pulled me out. Can't control the jerk who got the promotion, but I can control my hustle. Still got my skills, still got tomorrow. The transcript says be grateful for what you already have while you pursue your goals. That's the balance. Eyes on the prize, heart on what's here. Keeps you grounded, keeps you going. Then there's the big one. Seeing the good in others. The transcript says life becomes easier and more beautiful when we can see the good in other people. I used to default to suspicion. Someone's late, they're lazy. They snap, they're rude. Judged fast, trusted slow. Wore me out. Everybody was the villain in my head. Then I flipped it, started looking for the why. Late? Maybe they're swamped. Snappy? Maybe they're hurting. Doesn't excuse it, but it explains it. And damn if it didn't lighten the load. I had a coworker. Gruff, short fuse, rubbed me wrong daily. Wrote him off as a prick. Then one day, he drops that his kid's sick. Been up all night, running on fumes. Changed everything. Wasn't a jerk. Just a dad stretched thin. Gave him a coffee, a nod, wall came down. The transcript says people aren't for you or against you, they're for themselves. He wasn't out to get me, he was just surviving. Seeing his good tired but still showing up, made us allies, not enemies. You've got your own grump, look closer. Might find gold under the grit. It's not naive, it's strategic. The transcript says you grow rich when you seek new experiences, not material things. Seeing the good in people, that's an experience. I started small. Thanked a cashier who barely smiled. Tipped extra for a stressed server. Got smiles back. Felt lighter. Built to bigger. Forgave a friend who flaked. Listened to a rant without judging. Life got softer, not because they changed, but because I did. The transcript says be the reason someone smiles. Believes in the goodness in people. That's not weakness, that's wealth. Positive thinking ties it together, control, gratitude, goodwill. Miss one and the others wobble. I've slipped. Raged at a flat tire. Ignored my wins. Assumed the worst of a stranger. The transcript says hard times don't create heroes. It's during the hard times the hero within us is revealed. That's the test. Flat tire last month? Could have cursed the day instead. Fixed it. Thanked my hands for working. Hero's not the guy who never falls. It's the one who stands up different. Practical? Here's your play. Control, next time shit hits, pick one thing you can do it, let the rest slide. Gratitude, name 3 things you've got right now, no overthinking. Good in others, spot one person today, find their spark, even if it's buried. The transcript says all you have is the now and what you do with it. So do this. Doesn't have to be big. Smiles enough, a breath's enough. It's not fake smiles or ignoring pain. The transcript says happiness is not the absence of problems. It's the ability to deal with them. I've had days, lost a gig, fought with family, felt the weight. Positive thinking didn't erase it. Gave me a rope, controlled my reaction, thanked what held, saw the good in the mess, kept climbing. You will too. The transcript says you're stronger than you think. Every bad day you've survived proves it. Undefeated. Doubt creeps in, I get it. This won't work. Too simple, too soft. The transcript says rehearsing situations in your head is a waste. The situation's always different. I've overthought positivity into the ground. Will it fix this? Will it last? Stopped mattering when I tried it. Worked anyway. Clarity's in the doing, not the debating. The transcript says the life you experience is a reflection of your mindset. Shift it, watch it shift. Here's the core, you've got the reins. The transcript says instead of worrying about what you cannot control, shift your energy to what you can create. Create focus on your moves, not their mess. Create gratitude for the small, the real, the now. Create connection, see the human, not the flaw. I'm not Pollyanna. Still curse, still stumble, but I'm not drowning either. You don't have to. Mindset's your lever, pull it. Positive thinking's not a cure. It's a compass. Points you to what's yours to shape, what's worth keeping, who's worth seeing. The transcript says the most precious thing is time with those you love. We tend to forget happiness comes from appreciating what we have. Start there. Control your corner. Thank your stars. Lift someone up. Life's better when you do. 8. Learning from hardship. Strength forged in the fire. Life's got a way of throwing punches, hard ones, the kind that knock the wind out of you. But here's the first lesson from the rubble. Tough times build strength. The transcript says it straight. Out of difficulties grow miracles. Doesn't feel like it when you're in the thick of it, right? I've been there. Job gone. Bank account screaming. Everything I leaned on crumbling. Felt like the end. Spoiler, it wasn't. Those dark days didn't just break me. They made me. Strength isn't born on easy street. It's hammered out in the storm. I lost a gig a few years back. Out of nowhere, pink slip, see ya. Panic hit fast. Bills piling. No plan B. Just me and a whole lot of, what now? Could have curled up, called it quits. Didn't. Hustled for freelance scraps. Ate cheap. Kept swinging. Months later, I'm standing taller, new work, new grit, new me. The transcript's right. Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. That mess didn't bury me. It built me. You've got your own bruises. Money tight, heart cracked, dreams stalled. They're not the end, they're the forge. Here's the kicker. Your resilience is greater than you think. The transcript drops this gem. You never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. I used to see myself as fragile. First sign of trouble, I'd crumble, assume I couldn't take it. Then life forced my hand. After that job loss, I had no cushion, had to pay rent, eat, survive. No one swooped in to save me, so I saved myself. Kept going, day after shitty day, till I looked back and saw, I'm still here, undefeated. You are too. Every bad day you've walked through proves it. Think about it, what's the worst you've faced? Breakup that gutted you, failure that stung, loss that hollowed you out? You're reading this. You made it. The transcript says you've gotten through every bad day in your life. You're undefeated. I didn't feel tough clawing out of that hole. Felt scared, tired, raw. But resilience isn't a flex. It's a fact. Showed up anyway, paid the bills anyway, woke up anyway. That's strength, quiet and real. Yours is there too, buried under doubt, till the hard stuff digs it out. Now, the deep cut. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. The transcript lays that bare, and it's a truth that'll set you free if you let it. Pain's non-negotiable. Shit happens, hearts break, plans tank. I felt it when my grandma passed. Sharp, heavy, no dodging it. Suffering? That's different. That's when I'd replay her last days. Guilt myself for not calling more. Let it fester till I couldn't breathe. Pain was her gone. Suffering was me holding the knife. Letting go didn't erase the hurt. It stopped the bleed. I've seen it play out everywhere. Friend gets dumped. Pain's the tears. Suffering's the months of why me? Boss screws you over. Pain's the sting. Suffering's the endless rant. The transcript says when something happens and causes us pain, it's there to teach us a lesson, not so we feel pain for the sake of pain. I learned from that job loss. Don't bank on one gig. Don't sleep on your hustle. Didn't suffer the woe is me. Used it. Pain's the teacher. Suffering's the truant. You choose. Hardship's a classroom, brutal but brilliant. The transcript says hard times don't create heroes. It's during the hard times the hero within us is revealed. I wasn't a hero dodging that layoff, just a guy who didn't quit. Hero showed up later, pushing through, finding a way, laughing again. You've got one too. Showed up when you paid that bill you couldn't afford, hugged that friend through their mess, kept walking after the fall. Hardship doesn't gift wrap strength. It hands you the tools to find it. It's not pretty. I've ugly cried through plenty. The transcript says tough times teach us our resilience is stronger than we ever imagined. Lost my grandma, lost that job, lost my footing more times than I can count. Each one felt like a knockout, till I stood up. Resilience isn't loud. I wasn't shouting from rooftops, just tying my shoes, making coffee, trying again. You do it too, quietly, tougher than you know. The transcript says you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem. Believe it, your scars say so. Practical? Learn this. Next hit, job cuts, fight, blows up, whatever, feel the pain, sure. Cry, curse, sit with it. Then ask, what's this teaching me? That breakup? You're enough alone. That failure? Try smarter. Pain's got a point, find it. Suffering? Cut it off, don't replay, don't wallow, don't let it move in. Strength? Trust it's there. Next time you're low, list 3 times you bounce back. You've got M. The transcript says the only way out is through, go through, not around. It's not about dodging the hard can't. The transcript says life is inherently risky. Only one risk to avoid is doing nothing. I risked falling flat after that job, could have stayed down, didn't. Risked writing this, could flop, still typed. You risk every day, getting up, loving again, chasing that goal. Hardship's the cost, strength's the payoff. The transcript says difficult roads always lead to beautiful destinations. That layoff led me to work I love, rough ride, sweet view. Don't get it twisted, learning's messy. I've suffered when I could have grown. Stewed over that job, till it soured me, dragged old pain, till it weighed me down. The transcript says letting go isn't a one-time thing. It's every day. Had to drop the why me, drop the grudge, drop the loop. Still do. You will too slip, cling, learn again. That's the deal. Hardship keeps teaching, you keep growing. Here's the real talk. Tough times don't owe you an explanation. They owe you a chance. The transcript says we must meet the challenge rather than wish it weren't there. Wishing's weak, meeting its muscle. I met that loss, met that broke stretch, met myself in the mirror. Stronger every time. You've met yours, sick kid, empty tank, broken promise. Met it, beat it, grew from it. The transcript says good judgment comes from experience, and experience from bad judgment. Hardship's the bad, wisdom's the good. It's not forever, feels like it, but no. The transcript says when you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. I'm not tougher, quieter, surer. You won't be. Every crack's a seam for light. Pain carves, resilience fills, suffering's your call. The transcript says there are no limits to what you can achieve except in your mind. Hardship tests that. Proves your mind wrong, proves your heart right. Bottom line, you're built for the rough. The transcript says your life won't go as planned, and it's a good thing. Plans crashed, strength rose. Pain hit, lessons stuck. Suffering knocked. I locked the door. You can too. Hardship's not the enemy. It's the maker. Learn it, live it, let it lift you. You're stronger than the storm. 9. Purpose and growth. Craft your why, keep climbing, break the chains. Let's kick this off with something that'll flip your perspective. You don't find your purpose somewhere else. You create your purpose exactly where you are. The transcript drops that like a brick, and it's a wake-up call. We're sold this lie that purpose is out there. A treasure map, a golden ticket, a big reveal waiting behind the right door. I bought it hard. Thought I'd stumble into my calling if I just kept looking. Years of chasing, better job, cooler city, perfect plan, left me empty. Then it clicked. Purpose isn't found. It's made. Right here, right now, with what I've got. I used to drift. Decent gig, decent life, no fire. Kept waiting for the universe to hand me a mission. Didn't happen. So I stopped waiting. Started small. Helped a friend through a rough patch. Wrote stuff I cared about. Picked up a guitar I'd ignored for years. None of it screamed destiny, but it felt right. The transcript says you bear meaning to it. Your entire life can change in an instant if you decide to. I decided those bits became my purpose. Not grand, just mine. You've got your bits. Cooking, teaching, fixing, start there. Purpose isn't a gift. It's a build. That's the spark. Growth keeps it burning. You've got to keep moving, keep stretching, keep becoming. The transcript says it's never too late to do the things you've always wanted to do. Don't let naysayers discourage you. I stalled out in my 20s, safe job, safe routine, safe me. Thought I'd missed my shot. Too old to switch, too late to shine. Bullshit. Hit 30. Ditched the excuses. Learned to code on nights and weekends. Sucked at first, code broke, I broke. But kept at it. Now I'm half decent, freelancing, growing. Not too late, just in time. You're not done either. Dust off that dream, take the class, make the move. Growth's not optional, it's oxygen. The transcript says every next level of your life will demand a different you. Stay still and you're stuck. I was stuck, same job, same gripes, same small me. Changing hurt. Late nights, self-doubt, starting over. But staying hurt worse. Felt like slow suffocation. So I pushed new skills, new risks, new skin. The transcript says the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Decide, grow into someone bigger. You've got a next level, climb to it. Doesn't matter if you're 25 or 55. Growth's ageless. Here's the chain breaker. Don't let the past limit your future. The transcript hits hard. Do not let the memories of your past limit the potential of your future. I dragged mine like a ball and chain, screw-ups, regrets, old labels. Flunked a big test in school. Told myself I wasn't smart. Blew a relationship. Figured I didn't deserve better. That baggage kept me small, safe bets, low ceilings, no leaps. Then I saw it. Past me isn't now me. Flunked, learned, lost, grew. The transcript says you owe nothing to your younger self, but everything to your present self. Cut the cord. Yesterday's story doesn't write tomorrow's. Letting go's a fight. I get it. The transcript says letting go isn't a one-time thing. It's every day, over and over. I'd replay old failures. Job I tanked, friend I ghosted. Till they owned me. Took work to drop it. Told myself, that was then, this is now. Started acting like it. Applied for gigs I'd have skipped. Reached out to people I'd have dodged. Past tried to whisper, you'll fail again. Shut it down. You've got your whispers, broke, dumped, messed up. They're echoes, not anchors. The transcript says there are no limits to what you can achieve except in your mind. Unchain it. Purpose and growth tie tight. Past can choke both. I almost let it, thought my why had to fit who I'd been. Used to be the party guy, loud, shallow, coasting. Couldn't see a purpose past that. Till I quit waiting for old me to sign off. New me? Quieter, deeper, driven. Purpose shifted, helping, creating, learning. Growth fueled it, coding, writing, showing up. Past me wouldn't get it. Doesn't have to. The transcript says your tomorrow may be way different from your today if you try. Tried, changed. You can will. Practical moves, purpose. Pick one thing you care about, kids, art, fixing shit, do it today, small. Meaning starts there. Growth. Learn one trick, recipe, chord, app, tonight. Stretch a little. Past. Write one old weight, flop, fight, fear. Burn it literally or not. Let it go. The transcript says action breeds more clarity than thought. Act your way into this. Don't overthink, start messy, start now. It's not clean, I've stumbled. Purpose felt fake some days, helping felt forced, writing felt flat. Growth stalled, code crashed, patience thinned. Past clawed back. Doubts from flops I swore I'd dropped. The transcript says the first step towards getting somewhere is to decide you're not going to stay where you are. Decided, kept going. Purpose sharpened. Found my groove. Growth stuck, skills stacked. Past faded, new winds drowned it. You'll wobble, keep walking. Hardships, the forge ties to this. The transcript says tough times teach us resilience is stronger than we imagined. Lost that safe gig, thought I'd sink. Didn't. Found purpose in the scramble. Grew through the grind. Left broke me behind. You've got your forge. Pains carved you. Pushed you. Freed you. The transcript says your entire life can change in an instant. So be grateful and do whatever good you can with it. That's purpose, right where you stand. Don't wait for permission, I did, wasted years. Thought purpose needed a sign, neon lights, cosmic nod. Nope. The transcript says you create your purpose and bear meaning to it. Or it made my days matter. Growth? Waited till I felt ready. Never did. Started anyway. Got there. Past? Waited for it to loosen, had to cut it myself. The transcript says it's never too late to reinvent yourself. Reinvented, still do. You're not waiting, right? Here's the real. Purpose isn't static, growth isn't linear, past isn't king. The transcript says if you have a strong purpose, your passion will drive you there, you don't have to be pushed. Found mine, not loud, just steady, drives me. Growth's jagged, up, keeps me sharp. Past's a ghost, haunts if I let it, fades if I don't. The transcript says do not discuss your past with anyone. Only you know its true story. Kept mine close, built forward. You've got this shot now. The transcript says the most important thing is learning how to fall. Bad days build better ones. Fell, flunked, lost, drifted. Got up, crafted, grew, broke free. Purpose is yours to shape, mold it. Growth is yours to chase, reach it. Past is yours to drop, leave it. The transcript says the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Believe, build, become. You're the architect. Start the damn blueprint. 10. Time and choices. Your life, your clock, your call. Here's the raw deal. Your life is a collection of choices. Nothing more, nothing less. The transcript cuts to the bone. Your life is the result of the choices you make. Every yes, every no, every I'll do it later stacks up into the person you are right now. I used to think life just happened, good breaks, bad luck, fate's dice. Then I saw it, I picked this. Stayed in a job I hated, my choice. Let a friendship fade, my call. Chased what mattered, my move. You're not a passenger, you're the driver. Every turn's on you. Time's the fuel and it's running low. The transcript says all you have is the now and what you do with it. That's not fluffy, it's fire. I wasted years scrolling, stalling, letting hours slip like they'd refill. Then I blinked, 30 hit, and half my some days were gone. Time doesn't wait, it ticks. I started counting it, not obsessively but deliberately. An hour on a call with my mom? Worth it. 2 hours doom scrolling? Not so much. The transcript says the most precious thing in the world is time with those you love. We tend to forget that happiness comes from appreciating what we do have. Clock's running, spend it right. Choices shape time, time shapes choices. I blew a chunk of my 20s coasting. Safe gig, safe nights, no risks. Chose comfort over courage, and it showed stagnant, restless, stuck. The transcript says instead of worrying about what you cannot control, shift your energy to what you can create. Flipped it, quit the job, chased a passion, chose me. Time felt fuller, not endless, just sharper. You've got your own drift, dead-end routine, deferred dreams. Choose different, watch it shift. The transcript says there is no plan, just the consequences of choices. Pick consciously, live the fallout. I learned that hard, lost my dad a while back. Didn't see it coming, thought we had years. Regretted every, I'll call tomorrow, every rushed goodbye. Time with him, priceless. Didn't know till it was cashed out. The transcript says don't take people for granted, you never know when they could be gone. Hit me like a truck, now I choose presence. Hug longer, listen deeper, show up. You've got your people, parents, pals, that quiet kid next door. Choose them now, tomorrow's not promised. Conscious decisions aren't easy, they're heavy. The transcript says the hardest thing to learn is which bridge to cross and which to burn. I burned one, left a toxic crew behind. They drained me. Gossip, guilt trips, no lift. Chose to walk. Lonely at first, worth it later. Crossed another, took a gig that scared me, paid off in growth. Took guts to weigh it, time helped. Asked, does this steal my hours or make them sing? You've got bridges, crappy job, shaky bond. Burn or cross, choose with eyes open. It's not all big moves, small choices stack. The transcript says every next level of your life will demand a different you. I leveled up slow. Chose a walk over the couch, a book over a binge, a no over a fake yes. Tiny ticks, big shift, fitter, sharper, freer. Time's finite, spend it on what builds. You've got your ticks, snooze or sweat, scroll or sleep. Pick the one that grows you. The transcript says action breeds more clarity than thought. Choose, act, see. Regrets the thief, I felt it. Chose later on a trip with friends, they went, I didn't miss the laughs. Chose silence in a fight. Lost a chance to fix it. The transcript says don't let anyone make you feel like you don't deserve what you want. I wanted those moments, let fear pick instead. Now I choose faster. Say yes to the invite, speak up in the mess. Time's too short for should've. You've got your laters. Trip, talk, try. Grab 'em. Clock's not kind. This messy, I fumbled. Chose pride over peace. Fought when I could have hugged. Chose distraction over depth. Hours lost to nothing. The transcript says letting go isn't a one-time thing. It's every day. Let go of dumb picks, re-choose better. Fought again, chose sorry. Scrolled again, chose a book. Messed up yesterday, own it today. You'll slip, pick again. The transcript says you can either become the victim of your struggles or the hero. Same effort, different choice. Time's your vote, cast it. The transcript says the most important thing is learning how to fall. Bad days build better ones. Fell hard, job tanked, heart cracked. Chose to rise. Took time, took will, took me picking up over out. Built better, new hustle, new bonds. Your falls, lost cash, lost love. Pick next, not never. Time heals if you help it. The transcript says your future is your past which you understand. Choose to understand, not repeat. Practical? Here's your play, time. Set 1 hour today for what lights you. Call, craft, run. Choices, pick one thing you've dodged. Apology, application, ask, do it now. Conscious, next fork. Ask, does this match my why? Then move. The transcript says all you have power over is what you decide with the time given today. Decide, own it, live it. I'm not perfect, still waste ticks, still pick wrong. The transcript says maturity is when you stop complaining and start making changes. I'm maturing, less why me, more what now. Chose this piece, hours on it, not Netflix. Chose my people, time with them, not regrets. You're not perfect, don't have to be. Choose anyway. Time's your canvas, paint it bold. Here's the core. You've got the reins. Time's short, choices are yours. The transcript says we tend to forget happiness comes from appreciating what we have. Your now, your picks, your shot. I've got mine, writing this, loving hard, chasing true. You've got yours, whatever stirs you, whoever holds you. Value it, choose it, keep it. Life's the sum, make it count. And now, a word from the heart. Thank you, Zenlight 8 crew. You've been with us through this ride. 10 lessons, 10 truths, 10 ways to grab life by the horns. From honesty to hardship, purpose to this final tick of the clock. You've stuck around, soaked it in, made it yours. This channel's not just me. It's us. Your views, your vibes, your hell yes. In the comments, keep this fire lit. We're building something real here, wisdom, grit, a little light in the dark. So here's to you, thanks for rolling with Zenlight 8. Keep choosing, keep growing, keep shining. We're not done. More lessons, more life, coming your way. Stay tuned, stay you.